In the 2019 Cannes Film Festival, Korean director Bong Joon Ho's dark comedy Parasite received the Palme d'Or, which is the highest honor in the festival. The Cannes Film Festival, the Berlin International Film Festival, and the Venice Film Festival are known as the top three international film awards. This is the first time a Korean movie won the Palme d'Or. Previously, Korean director Kim Ki Duk's Pieta won in Venice back in 2012. Parasite also broke the record by being sold to 192 countries around the world. The highest mark to date was Park Chan Wook's Handmaiden, which was sold to 176 countries. The movie's also faring well in the Korean box office. In the first weekend after the release, Parasite attracted more than 2 million viewers. Director Bong is known to be a critically acclaimed auteur who also enjoys commercial success. His ever-increasing momentum as an author and as a popular director has been accelerated by this new film. Critics say the topic of collision between a rich and a poor family is well-timed in this era of economic polarization. Viewers of the movie say that the dark satire of the film leaves a bitter taste in the mouth when they leave the theater. Movie lovers in Korea are curious about how many viewers the movie will attract. Also, many of Bong's fans are already so curious about what's going to be next in the list of his masterpieces. It is the 100th anniversary of the Korean film industry. Bong's achievement of winning the Best Picture award at Cannes is a great way to commemorate this centennial. So I said there's a lot of debate about the word Cannes or Cannes Film Festival. So a lot of times when I've heard it in English in the United States, it kind of goes back. Some years it's Cannes, some years it's Cannes, but the correct pronunciation is Cannes. Cannes is the correct way, not Cannes. So I just want to clear that up. So I said the Cannes Film Festival is a great way to commemorate this centennial. So to commemorate something is to celebrate, and a centennial means the 100th year celebration. So the first movie was made, I guess, back in 1919, and this is 2019, so this is a centennial commemoration of the Korean film industry. Parasite, which took the top prize at Cannes, reflects a huge milestone in Korea's century-long film history. So the top prize reflects a huge milestone. So to reflect means it shows, and a huge milestone is a milestone is an accomplishment or an event or when things change. So a milestone is kind of a big event in history. And then in Korea's century-long film history, century is another way of saying 100 years. Bong wants to show the differences we see and feel between contrasting socioeconomic classes. So that part, contrasting socioeconomics. Contrasting means we're showing it's a difference. So either contrasting is good or bad, hot or cold. And then socioeconomic classes. So socioeconomic classes means both social as kind of your level of education or class, and economic meaning money. So for example, if you had two farmers, they were both very poor, farmer A, farmer B. Farmer B wins the lottery. His economic class would go up, but socially, he's still a farmer. Culturally, he's still a farmer. So when we talk about socioeconomic class, that means kind of the level of where you are in society and your financial wealth. So when it's contrasting, this movie is about a poor family that's always been poor that moves into a rich family that's always been rich. So it's contrasting socioeconomic. Rich and poor need to coexist in the society, and the director wanted to show the interaction between the classes. So rich and poor need to coexist. To coexist means to live together, kind of in peace and harmony, not to be fighting. So if you're coexisting, you're living in relative peace and calmness with your neighbors. And then finally, I said he wanted to show the interaction between the classes. So the classes being kind of rich, middle class, poor. So this is the interaction. So how the classes interact, because in the movie, I don't want to give too much away, but a poor family is kind of living and working with a richer family. So that's the interaction between the two classes. This movie is about social issues related to our relationships and respect. there are varying degrees on how we treat each other. So we must decide if our relationships are mutual or parasitic. So I said there are varying degrees on how we treat each other. So varying degrees means I could be mean to you, I could just be average or nice, or I could be very generous. Those are different degrees or different ways of treating each other. And then we talk about, so should the relationship be mutual or parasitic? So parasitic means when a creature or someone, they're using their host or relationship for their benefit only. And then if it's a mutual relationship means, party A gets something and party B gets something in return. Or in the animal kingdom, you have pilot fish, and they follow very large sea creatures, and they eat the parasites off their body, they clean them, they eat the barnacles, they make them smooth so they can go through the water, and then they don't get eaten by bigger other fish in the sea. So that's a mutual relationship. The underlying message of the movie is about humanity and how we treat each other. Our behavior has consequences, and, in the end, relationships can have a harmful symbiotic relationship. So again, a harmful symbiotic relationship. All relationships in nature or humans are symbiotic, means you have to get something or give something. Now, symbiosis can be mutual or it could be parasitic. So a harmful symbiotic relationship is a parasitic relationship. There are some interesting plot twists in the film. Spoilers can ruin the movie for other people. It is important not to reveal too much information about the movie. So I said there's some interesting plot twists. A plot twist is like when a movie is going in one direction and then suddenly changes. So if you're a big fan of Game of Thrones, like I am, there were some amazing plot twists, like things you didn't even expect. But it doesn't always mean a positive thing. For example, there are movies that are bad that have kind of like, the movie's going one way. I don't know if you saw Suicide Squad. It had kind of a good premise, a good plot, but then a terrible plot twist. Or other movies that, you think are going to start off great, but then end up bad. Those are bad plot twists. And then spoilers. Spoilers are just things that reveal the plot of the movie or very important points. So, if someone had left Star Wars back in the late 70s and then said that, he left the theater and then told everyone waiting in line that Darth Vader is Luke Skywalker's father, that's a big spoiler. So people don't want to hear that. So a spoiler is just something that can ruin a movie for someone else. Movie buffs need to be careful not to reveal spoilers for those who have not seen the movie yet. You don't want to give away too much of the story to those who have not seen it. So I said movie buffs. Movie buffs are another word for fans of movies, people who love movies. So we say like, I'm a movie buff. That means I really enjoy watching movies no matter what they are. And then people who know a lot about movies, we call them movie buffs. You can even say that guy's a car buff. He knows a lot about cars. Guys, thanks for downloading. You could follow me on Instagram at MATTSSAM. And also be on the lookout. In about a week or so, we'll be releasing the Konglish Killer book. So you can find that at your local bookstores and online.